So, hello Facebook, how is everybody? I'm just going to adjust my screen here because I think I had to move back a little bit for Facebook. Is that okay? I hope everybody's seeing me all right. You get the wider view now because, of course, it's not only Facebook, it is Facebook and YouTube. Hello, YouTube. Oh, my goodness, we are just growing every day. It's so fantastic. So many new people tuning in and watching. So welcome if this is your very first time. Just give you a quick overview of how it works. I'm live at the moment here on my farm. It's rainy, so you can see out of the window here. So I started doing my Instagram lives and my Facebook lives back in the very beginning of lockdown, just as a very quick way of saying hi and connecting. And since then, I don't know how many weeks later it is. I think, is it 20 weeks, something like that? I used to do every day. I think I did every day of the week for something like 16 weeks. And now, to make it sustainable going forward, as we kind of move out of that lockdown stage, hopefully, I now do Monday, Wednesday, Friday live, and then I save it so you can watch it on catch up as we hopefully get back to our more normal lives. So on Instagram, that's obviously on IGTV, and you can find all of them there. So if you are seriously at a loose end, you can just scroll back and listen to and watch them all. And then the same on Facebook. Facebook, obviously, as we know, has links. Yes, we can link on Facebook. So it's a kind of an easier platform and a way to navigate. Now, I'm not personally on Facebook. I don't have my own Facebook account. So I go through Liz Earle Wellbeing magazine. And it's always worth remembering that, because if one platform goes down, which can happen, especially with rural broadband, then you can hop over onto the other channels. So Facebook, if it goes down, you can find me, Liz Earle Me, on Instagram. And Instagram, if there's an issue, please hop over to Facebook, which is the Liz Earle Wellbeing Magazine Facebook page. Today, Amy, my lovely digital editor, is on holiday. Happy holes, Amy. I'm sure you're not watching. I'm sure you've got better things to do. So we've got lovely Lou. Lou is manning Facebook. So hello, Lou. And thank you very much for stepping into Amy's shoes. Lou is actually Amy's boss. Yes, she's head of digital and marketing and all of that over at my magazine. So very nice to have you with me, Lou. Thank you. Everything pretty much that I talk about, or if I mention a podcast or an article or whatever, Lou will pop it as a link onto Facebook. So you can always pop back there if you're not sure about something. And I can see there's lovely chats, bits of conversation going on already. Let me just refresh my screen there. I'll move a few of these bits out of the way, actually, because they're taking up a little bit too much room, and I'm going to give away what I'm going to be talking about in a moment, because I'm going to be doing a big reveal to a lovely brand that I'm really excited to be sharing with you. So what else am I talking about today? Yeah, I've got some new things and some reminders. We've got a brand new special offer that we just launched today on my books for the bank holiday weekend. I've got a little bit more kombucha to taste and to try. And I've also got some questions that Lou has very kindly been popping onto my iPad here, so I can have a look basically at some of the chat. Yeah, I've got questions here about menopause and yeah, physio. Who watched my physio chat with Libby Caudle? Wasn't she brilliant? So this was on, let me just move that out of the way because it's taking up a little bit too much room, isn't it? I know you guys can't see it on Instagram, but because the guys on Facebook are wider now, I have to be very careful with what I show in the background. It's like when I do my lives on this morning, their screen is so wide. The first time I did it from my kitchen, I suddenly realised that I had all the washing up in the sink and the bright yellow, washing up cloths and all of that. I'd made my little area look so beautiful just behind me with flowers and, nice kind of gut-friendly kombuchas and scobies and things. And then in the background, there was all this mess. It was like, oh, really? So, yes, so I know I'm a wider screen at the moment. So anyway, yes, so I can see that, Lou, you've sent me lots of questions on there. So, yeah, do please keep your questions coming. And I think I can see everybody here. Yeah, the physio chat. Okay, so if you missed it, you can have a look. It'll be on Facebook, and obviously it's on Instagram. Instagram's a great place to watch it when I do an Instagram live, because I can split the screen. So you'll actually see Libby. Now, Libby Caudle is a top physio. She's worked in, some serious places. She's worked with leading sportsmen. She's a hand expert because she worked with this top hand surgeon in London Clinic for many years. And she left London and moved down to the West Country, where I've been really fortunate. She's been my physio for the last, I think we worked out it's about 9 years. And she's also very good on ergonomics, and she helped me set up my studios in London so everybody is supposed to be sitting properly at their desks with, you know, monitors at eye level and footrests and armrests and all of this. So she has launched this amazing website. It's a free website called Corefulness, and she's launching an app, and it's all about getting children and older people to just really treat their bodies with a bit of respect. You know, as I'm sitting here, I should be uncrossing my legs and, you know, sitting with my shoulders down, and it's about engaging your core muscles. Certainly if I was writing at my desk, she set up my desk here at home with some hints and tips and ideas. Elbows just slightly up, but forearms flat on the desk. I've got my little footrest, or if I don't have a footrest, I just pop my feet on a box so I get the right angle of the knee and the feet. Anyway, it's all brilliant, and there's a piece online about it. So you can either go to corefulness.com, or you can go to, and as well, if you want, you can go to lizearlewellbeing.com, because we've got lots of information there. If you're working from home, and, you know, now is the time to really take stock of all of that. We shouldn't be sitting there with our screens hunched over, because we get tech neck, and this is how we get really stiff, and we set ourselves up for problems later. And I'm the worst. I know. I will sit in a corner hunched on my laptop, you know, doing a bit of work, when I know that I should really set it down properly. I had a lovely comment from somebody on Instagram saying that she'd put her laptop up high so that the screen like this is at eye level. So I've got my laptop here, so you set it up so that you're looking up here, you're looking directly at the screen. And she said she'd balanced it on 14 copies of Liz Earle Wellbeing magazine. Isn't that a great use of all the magazines? But what happens when you want to read one? You have to kind of take it out. Anyway, really good idea to keep your monitors high. Actually, just talking about the magazine. Oh, this is so exciting. Just about to get delivery of the brand new issue. So I really hope that you are a subscriber, because you won't find it in the shops. We've come out of retail. We're subscription only. It's really special, but that does mean that you have to be a subscriber to get it. And as I showed you before, this is all I can show you right now, because this is all I have. This is the proof of the front cover. So this will obviously get printed onto the cover paper. And so that's the front of the cover. And that's the back of the cover, revealing just a few of the great things that are in it. And I'm still waiting for my copy. I know it's been printed because we pressed the button. I'm literally, every time the postman comes, I'm kind of jumping, going, oh, is it there yet? So do let me know. Hopefully it'll be landing, I don't know, who knows, maybe over the weekend, but I'd love to hear from you. Do drop me a message, send me a little pic or whatever. Let me know your first impressions. But hopefully next week I'll be able to show you a little bit of what's inside it. I won't reveal the whole thing, because the last time I did that I got into trouble by somebody who said, you've spoilt it for me now, Liz. I love sitting down for the first time with my new copy and flicking through, and it's just like this amazing journey of looking at all the different things on the different pages, all the different features. You know, people have asked me, well, why do I need to subscribe to the magazine? Because you talk to us about so many things, and you've obviously written books, and you've got the website. The magazine is completely different. The magazine certainly is new. We will later put up features. So, for example, on the website, you'll find features that we've put in the magazine over the years, but we certainly don't put current things. We might put maybe one or two, but we wouldn't put the whole, you know, kind of 140 pages or whatever it is up online, because that's special for the magazine readers. So it's different content. It's a longer form of read. So we'll have quite in-depth articles. There's a really good in-depth article written by my senior health and beauty writer, Ellie Smith, all about thyroxine and the thyroid and how that works and how that interplays with other hormones. You know, I talk a lot about estrogen, midlife, menopause, all those different fluctuations. And I was really fascinated actually to hear and learn a little bit more about thyroid. Lots of other things, which I will share with you next week. Okay, I'm not going to spoil it now, because I want to introduce you to this amazing, amazing brand. So I have been using this brand for probably 20 years. And I was fascinated when I went back and I learnt more about its history, because it's a British female founder-led brand. And basically it's a fine fragrance which is developed into other things that keeps mosquitoes away. So honestly, I have bought over the years so many bottles of this. It's called Alfresco. We've got a Liz Loves with 20% off, okay, which I'm really thrilled about. And it genuinely works. I'm one of those people that just get munched. You know, if there is a mosquito within 100 miles, it will sniff me out. and it will make a beeline for me. And as you know, I travel a lot. I go to Kenya, where the mosquitoes and things like tsetse flies can be really nasty, so I have to be really careful. And I go to Italy quite a lot because I've got family over there, and I do love travelling in general. But even here, down on the farm, was bitten. That little heat wave that we had a few weeks ago, I was outside a bit more. Really nasty little vicious mosquitoes. So this is what I have genuinely used and bought for myself. I love the smell. It is it's a bit like an eau de cologne, but it's a little bit more sophisticated than that. It's a genuinely good smell. And for me, because I tend to use it when I'm away on holiday, it just is such a happy smell. It's got I think this one has got 20 different essential oils in. And then when, I think it was Mary Lou who created it. Let me just check on Sarah Lou, I'm so sorry. Sarah Lou started this. So what I love about Sarah Lou and her story is that she was a volunteer at Chelsea Physic Garden. And, whenever I'm asked what's my favourite place to go to in London, my little secret hideaway, I always say it's Chelsea Physic Garden. So I've been a friend and a supporter of Chelsea Physic Garden for so many years. I've done medicinal plant courses there. It's a beautiful space to walk around. If you're in London, it's in Chelsea, obviously on the Embankment, do check it out because it's a little haven. It's an oasis of calm. It's really educational. You can take the kids there. They've divided it into lots of different sections from all the plant hunters over the generations who brought seeds back, or they were out exploring and they brought little specimens back. And it was started as an apothecary garden. So I think it was in the 1600s when there was an apothecary barge that used to go from Chelsea. And in those days, the Embankment wasn't built. So the end of Chelsea Physic Garden was actually the River Thames. And the apothecary barge would go and it would come down to Chelsea Physic Garden because Chelsea was essentially a kind of a market garden for London, for the City of London. So you had Chelsea Fields, you had Chelsea Green. It was just, they were growing vegetables. Can you imagine? In kind of what's now some of the most expensive real estate in the world, it was the kitchen garden for the City of London. And as part of that was the apothecary garden. And this was, before the advent of modern medicine, it was where all the medicinal plants were grown. So the apothecary barge would come down, they would load up on the dockside at Chelsea Harbour, well not Chelsea Harbour but Chelsea, the big gates of which are still there actually. If you're at Chelsea Physic Garden, you still see the original gates that used to open out onto the barge. And they would load up all the herbs and the spices that had been grown by the apothecaries in the garden, and they would then sail up River Thames, up to the City of London, when they would get ground into all their lotions and potions. So there's a strong tradition of traditional Chinese, not traditional Chinese medicine, there are some Chinese herbs there as well, but traditional English herbs, European herbs, and herbs gathered from all over the world that really work and have had centuries worth of use in the apothecary. So fascinating, don't you think? So do go. It's open now. You can become a friend. You can support them. I genuinely love Chelsea Physic Garden. Anyway, so Sarah Lou, get her name right, Sarah Lou was a volunteer at Chelsea Physic Garden, and she used to guide people around, and she had a particular soft spot for the Australian section. And anyway, she used to get bitten by all the mosquitoes in the garden. And she didn't want to spray herself with DEET because that's a really noxious chemical. It's very, very strong, DEET. DEET is great if you're going into the jungle, and you've got rampant malaria and, but it's very, very strong. If you spill it on your camera, it'll melt the plastic. It's that kind of strength. So she wanted to develop something that was using the natural apothecary herbs that she was surrounded by in Chelsea Physic Garden. So she worked with a family-run apothecary team in London, and she created al fresco. Now you may say, well, that's all very well, but surely a lovely smelling cologne, is it really going to work to keep the bugs away? Well, she had it tested by the London School for Tropical Medicine, Tropical Diseases and Medicine. So there is such a place in London, and it's where all the research goes on for the tropical diseases. So, they research all sorts of things, many of which, of course, are carried by mosquitoes, like malaria. And anyway, so she had it tested to make sure that it really does work, and it does work. And what I was fascinated to read about her story is that I think it was maybe 20 years ago when Robert Redford and Kristen Scott Thomas were filming The Horse Whisperer. They were out in Montana, and apparently Montana is full of serious, stormtrooper grade mosquitoes, and they couldn't leave their trailers because they were being so badly bitten by these mosquitoes. So somebody had heard about alfresco, and they shipped over a load to the film set, and that is why a lot of movie stars actually will use this during filming. It kind of got seeded secretly into the Hollywood movie scene. So I've read reports of everybody from Nicole Kidman, Penelope Cruz, even Madonna, being real fans of this because it smells great. You can just, cover it all over yourself and keep the bugs away. So basically, for me, my journey with this product started many years ago. I started to use this, and I must have 3 or 4 bottles. In fact, when I was in Italy recently, I noticed that my one in Italy was right down to the bottom because I'd been using it so much. And then I also use this, and this is the moisturiser, anti-bug bite moisturiser. It's a really good moisturising lotion. You can use it, particularly around your ankles, if you're going out to supper, backs of your knees. It's just great. It's very good as a after sun botanical moisturiser anyway. But of course it does have this extra anti-bug capacity, which is brilliant. So when I came back from Italy and I was thinking about this, and I was thinking, this is such a great product. What I love about it is it multitasks. It smells great. It's got a really cheerful, fresh, uplifting scent. Doesn't interfere too much. So actually, if you've got your own favourite perfume that you wanted to wear in the evening, you could still, dab that behind the ears or on your wrist because it wouldn't really interfere with that. But actually, I just now go out and I spray myself liberally with this. So I'm thrilled that we've got a Liz Loves in capitals at the checkout. Liz Loves for 20% off everything on their website. And what I particularly love, because now she has expanded her range. So Sarah Lou, she is, still pretty much an enthusiastic one-woman band, and she has, I don't think, done a great deal of marketing over the years. It's still a kind of hidden, undiscovered secret. So I'm really just very pleased to be able to promote it and mention it, because I do genuinely think that it's a great product. And I saw that she's done all sorts of new things. So she's got a little weekender kit. So you can either get the kind of the classic spray and moisturiser, which I highly recommend, really, I do genuinely. Or she does a little weekender pack, and this is what it's got in it. So not only do you get little mini sizes, so she's done little packs of these. So genius. You can just pop that in your evening bag, even in your little clutch bag, and if you're going out, just take it with you just to make sure that you've got it. And I spritz it on the children, I do the whole thing. And then she's also got another version, so she's obviously expanded since I first got to know her. This is called Anti-Bug Bite Cologne. This is a slightly different smell. I would say this is a little bit more citrusy, maybe. This has got 14 essential oils in it apparently, whereas the original one I think has got 20. It's possibly a little bit more sophisticated if you wanted something that was more of a perfume but still has the anti-bug bite property. Then this is the one. It's called Anti-Bug Bite Cologne. So I do actually quite like that as well. It's also quite masculine, so this might be one that the boys might like. But anyway, you could get the weekender kit because you get these little sizes, little travel sizes. And then there's another one that she's also done called Plant Power. Oh no, Planet Power. Planet Power, but it is Plant Power. And this is, I would say, maybe more kind of herby, maybe. A little bit more rounded, not quite so up. You know how colognes can be very citrusy and up and fresh. This has got a little bit more of the base notes coming through, but also has been tested to keep mosquitoes away. So fabulous. So in the weekend pack, there's the 3 little sprays, and then you also get some of her lotions. So there's the larger size, 100ml of that anti-bug bite moisturiser, which I use all the time, plus a smaller travel size, which is great. And then there's also this one that she's got, which is a super hydrating lotion. This is the Planet Power, and it just smells really good. I mean, it's just a really nice smell that you can use. You could use it on your face, you can use it on your hands, and it keeps mosquitoes away. So anyway, I am delighted to have shared that with you, and that is going to stay up on my Liz Loves, because sometimes with the things kind of come and go, but I genuinely am very pleased to have rediscovered it and to have been able to share it with all of you. Yeah, needed that a few weeks ago. Absolutely. No, it's not just for anti-bugs. You know, I love the smell so much that I just use this as a cologne in the summer. But I also am thrilled that it's keeping the midges, you know, in the Highlands. It would keep the midges away. It would keep the mosquitoes away. You know, it even seems to ward off flies from, you know, if you're out having a barbecue and you just get bothered by wasps and flies and things. You know, the little flying insects don't like the smell. So isn't that fabulous? And we all love it. So great. Anyway, let me know what you think. I'd be really, really intrigued. Couple of other things to share with you on Friday. Lots of you asking questions about Mighty Brew Kombucha, which I mentioned. I love kombucha. I've got lots of this in now for the weekend, for the bank holiday weekend. We've got a family barbecue tomorrow, hopefully, weather permitting. So I'll pop some pictures of that on my Instagram. I really do like it. You've asked me the difference between the Holos kombucha and the Mighty Brew. They're very similar. They're both authentic kombuchas, which is great. And I love them both. Holos is a great female founder-led brand. The proceeds of it in part go to support the victims of modern-day slavery, so it's got a real social justice heart. Mighty Brew, similarly, very authentic. It's the real deal. I love their flavours. I particularly like this one, which is Summer Bliss. It's the organic Summer Bliss kombucha, which I might actually... Oh, yeah, you can hear the fizz. I don't know whether you can see it. It's all fizzing up there. You can see that it's the real thing. And I did keep some of this. Whoa, that is very active. I did keep some of this in my fridge. When I was away, I had a little bit left in the bottle, and it was not intentional. I didn't mean to leave it there. And it grew its own SCOBY in the bottom after a while. So, you know, that's real proof that these things are real. And of course, they're full of probiotic goodness. It's not an exact science, it's not a medicine, it's just a soft drink that's good for us. So I really encourage my children to drink it. And I also like it, seeing as it's Friday and it's a feel-good bank holiday Friday, I am going to be having Kombucha Martinis tonight. Yes, I am. So I've got my little martini glasses, chill them in the fridge so you get real kind of professional opaque colour when you pull them out of the fridge. A little bit of vodka, a little twist of unwaxed lemon peel kind of on the side to be decorative, and you top it up with kombucha. You could use plain kombucha, or you could use a flavoured one. Anyway, Mighty Brew have given us 10% off using Liz Loves, so that's great. And you can order that by the case and they'll just ship it throughout the UK. So just before I go, let me have a look at my questions that have come in. Just to say, by the way, I'm very sorry, but there is no Friday 5 today. Oh, I'm sorry. I failed. Friday 5 is my little podcast that I record most Fridays. And I actually have to record it on a Thursday night to get it live, usually. Sometimes I can do it Friday morning. But I have been so flat out with filming. I was filming all this week with this morning. Still got a few more bits and pieces that I need to sort out today. And we battled the weather. Oh my goodness. I'm filming a new mini-series which will start next month, all about well-being and wellness, which is really exciting. So I'm so looking forward to being able to share that with everybody. But we had the whole range of weather. In 3 days we had everything from thunderstorms, rain coming down almost like stair rods. I think it was almost hailing at one point. We had so much bright sunshine that it was too bright for the cameras at one point, and I got a tiny bit of sunburn on my shoulder because I hadn't realised that I'd been standing out in the sun for so long. We had massive gales. We had the wind was so strong it blew all the lights over outside because of course we had to film outside, and you know, broke all the bulbs, and then they couldn't record the sound because the wind was too strong. And then it got really, really dark, and then the dark clouds went, and then it got really sunny, which meant that everything that we'd already shot, we had to reshoot because the light was completely different. So the two things wouldn't have edited together because, you know, all the sequences are being cut together. So I think it was probably one of the most challenging shoots I think I've ever done. And I've been filming for This Morning now for 31 years because I was on the launch programme with Richard and Judy. So it was what I thought was going to be really straightforward. I thought, come to the farm, we'll have a lovely calm time, we'll be talking about well-being and wellness, and I can, show you all my different herbs, and we'll cook up lots of delicious things to eat and all of that. And it was just, oh my goodness. Anyway, we did finish it. We finished it late last night, maybe 9 o'clock, 9:30. And we were outside and we had to light one of my terraces out here at the back of the farmhouse. We had to light it with all these lights so it looked like daylight, because it had to cut with the sequence that we'd filmed earlier on. And of course, we'd lost the light. It was virtually dark. So it was a thing. But I've done it now. And we've got more to come. But I've done the first 3 episodes, which is really good. And I had a lovely team. So thank you very much to all the team at This Morning, because you were just great and we all just pulled through. It was teamwork. Teamwork makes the dream work. That's what they say. But as a result, sorry, that was a long explanation as to why there's no Friday 5, because I could honestly, by the end of yesterday, I could barely speak, and I even woke up this morning feeling that I'd been run over by a steam train. You get that sometimes where I think it's your adrenal glands and everything. So I'm kind of looking forward to a quiet weekend. Couple of questions here. Okay, so this I'm wearing, it's an old one actually. You've seen me wear it before. It's a British brand, lovely British female founder-led brand again, called Me and M. And I did check before I came live, and it is in their sale. So I think it's 40% off, something like that. I put a link on Linktree. So on Instagram, if you head to my bio on Instagram, click where it says Linktree. If you click on that, we've popped a link directly to this. I really love it. I wear it a lot. It's a wardrobe staple of mine. I think hopefully, Lou, you might be able to pop a link to it as well. It's got extra long sleeves, if I just show you like that. So if you want to have nice long cozy sleeves, which I actually do quite like as well as it gets colder. But it is reversible in that you can fold the cuffs back, which is also just adds a nice bit of detail. And when I checked, they only had extra small in stock, but don't panic because I'm wearing extra small. Okay, this is the extra small size. Can you see how big it is? I mean, this is because a lot of their styles that they do, I know it's Claire Hornby who's their founder, she loves this really loose style. I have to say, I'm not a huge fan of having things oversized. It's a bit like the lovely Lisa Taylor dress that I was wearing a few weeks ago, the Beaumont organic cotton one. It's amazing, but again, I was wearing an extra small and it's so voluminous. So, don't be put off. This is, what, pretty generous, would you say? What would that be? I don't know, 14, 16, something like that, maybe bigger. So when it says extra small, bear in mind it's extra small for this design. Anyway, I just mentioned that just in case that's useful. This is from Sarah on Instagram, who says, I have just ordered 2 copies of the Menopause Guide, one as a gift and one for me. How brilliant. And I'm going to come to a special offer in a moment about that. This was from Joe, also on Instagram. It's my 50th birthday today. I think that was a few days ago. Joe, happy birthday. I hope you had a great day. I've had lots of lovely comments about my new Aspiga top that I wore out to lunch. Thanks, Liz, for sharing. So Aspiga, another great female founder-led, ethical British brand. We also get 10% off. I don't think you get 10% off anything that's in the sale, but I think if there's non-sale things, use Liz Loves for your code. Aspiga, really another heart. Big hearts to Aspiga and Lucy, who founded that brand. Ricardo, oh hi Ricardo, always a delight listening to your shows. Thank you very much. Hope you're watching today. Lula says, so excited to receive my Wellbeing magazine today. Gosh, I wonder if that's the new one, because I haven't had mine yet. But you may have been a new subscriber, in which case you may have just got in time to get the last issue. Such comfort, candle lit, herbal tea poured, and lounge time surrounded by my new plants. Oh, how lovely. That's going to be me later on, possibly not with a herb tea, possibly with just a little sneaky Kombucha Martini. And okay, a question here from Georgina on Instagram, who says, can I ask you, are your 2 menopause guides the same apart from the recipes? Okay, so basically I have written 3 publications all about menopause. So my first book here, Good Menopause Guide. So this is the hardback book. This has half recipes, so half the book let me see, where does it start? And I can show you. Is all about low GI eating, phytoestrogen rich foods. Yeah, so part 2 of the book, you can see there is recipes. Some fabulous ones. I've got things like famous menopause cake, low sugar muffins, lots of things, lots of plant-based things as well. So if you're veggie, there's options for you as well. It goes through breakfast, snacks, soups, lunches, main meals, and things for the whole family, drinks, lots of nice puddings as well, protein shakes, all sorts. So that's half of this book is recipes. Okay, so that's possibly one of the main differences. Also, it goes through quite in depth all the different parts of menopause. So first of all, it explains what it is, perimenopause and menopause. It talks a little bit about HRT. There's one chapter on HRT here. And then it talks about bone health, it talks about beauty during the menopause, sex and relationships, really important. It talks about emotions and, and various other things. So this is kind of a good overview, I think. If you want to sit down with a physical book, then I would recommend that. And you can, it's on Amazon. There have been lots of reviews. You can check it out if you want to. My e-guides, I've got 2 e-guides. So the first one is quite a simple e-guide. I think it's $4.99, so it's probably the cheaper option. And it is a very simple guide to what the menopause is and perimenopause and hormonal changes. And because it's digital, it's got lots of links in it. That's the nice thing about digital e-guides. I mean, I do love print, but I also think there's a place for digital e-guides as well. Particularly, if you're reading something on a tablet or whatever, you can click the link. So if I reference a study or an individual, and I'm talking about a doctor or a scientist or whatever, you click the link and you can then go and follow it up and then come back to your reading. So I think the e-guides are actually very good. But if you don't want the recipes, if you just want some basic healthy menopause information, then perhaps the e-guide is the way to go. And then last but not least is my e-guide that's all about HRT. So it doesn't really it touches a little bit about menopause, but it kind of assumes that you have already read up on that from, whichever source. And it is purely about the facts and figures about HRT. It's about the safety, it's about the contraindications, it's about who can have it, all the things that it will help with. There's a whole section on the kind of the legal side, how to talk to your doctor, because so many doctors don't understand HRT or prescribing. It's got links to studies. It's fully referenced all about breast cancer. I've got quotes from leading medics around the world, Professor Michael Baum, who I've recorded 2 podcasts now with, all about breast cancer. He endorsed it and he said it's required reading, for every midlife woman. So did Mr. Nick Panay, who's a consultant gynecologist, who was the head of the International Menopause Society. So, so there are serious medics, Professor Avram Blooming, who's written Estrogen Matters, lots and lots of information. It's very specific to do with HRT. So if you have any concerns or questions or queries, then do please get that one. I mean, I've had lots of comments from women, many of whom have said this is the best $4.99 I have ever spent. So HRT, as we know, can be totally transformational. And if you have any concerns about it, do please read that. And you can share that. You can share the information. You can print it off. You can turn it into a physical printed book that you can then share the information with your doctor. And of course, because these are digital, it means that we can update them. So when there was the big hoo-ha, which is still ongoing, I have to say, regarding estradiol and estrogel, don't get me started on that, we were able to go back into the e-guide and update it. So if you bought an early edition, you might want to go and re-download your edition. I would just say that what you're paying for basically is your own copy. So, I have to kind of trust you not to share it or whatever because it is copyright, but you can just download it, re-download it if you want to read the new information because we do update it from time to time. So hopefully that's a long answer to your question, but I hope it's clarified what those 3 books are, if you like, and the differences between them. So they kind of complement each other. You can get all 3 and still get good information, or you can just dip into the specific one that you would like. By the way, if you have bought my Good Menopause Guide, I would love it if you could leave me a review on Amazon. What I didn't realise is you don't actually have to have bought your book on Amazon to leave a review for it. So you can buy it anywhere. So you can buy it from my website or have been gifted it, for example. It just means it's not a verified review, because obviously if Amazon know you've bought it from them, they know it's verified. But yeah, I did have a bit of stick about writing about HRT, so it would be quite nice if there's any counterbalance. If you wanted to pop on and leave me a review, let me know what you thought. So before I go, actually, I do have to tell you about the books, because we are launching today. I hope you're on my newsletter subscription, because that's a free newsletter that comes out every Friday. It goes out at about 4 o'clock. So Lou today will be pressing the button to send that out. So at 5 to 4, do make sure that you're a subscriber, because there's lots of information in this week's edition. We've packed it extra full because of the bank holiday weekend. So it's completely free. You know, if you don't like it, you just unsubscribe. There's no issue. We don't share your data or do anything unpleasant like that. It's just a free resource that is for my community here. And in that, you will see there is a special offer on books that are launching. So I have got some of these books down here on the farm. These are the 3 that we have in stock. So I've got my Good Menopause Guide, which I have just mentioned. We've got the Good Gut Guide. Your 6-week plan is in here. Seriously, if you've not got to grips with gut health, this is a great time. Coming out of the summer, let's step into a new season. Get your gut health sorted. Amazing recipes. I come back to these recipes time and time and time again. It's also got, of course, all the classics, your kefir, kombucha, your scobies, your sourdough, your apple cider vinegar. All of that is in the Good Gut Guide, plus how to do a simple cleanse. And if you want to read what other people have done, when I launched this book a few years ago, I gave it to some testers. It was actually my publisher, Orion, who gave it to completely impartial testers, including a doctor, including somebody who was going through quite aggressive cancer treatment. And they just said, look, test this for 6 weeks, write a weekly blog about it, about how it transforms your gut and how you find the various different cleansing processes. And we've got that online on Liz Earle Wellbeing. I know, Lou, you might be able to pop a link on Facebook to that. But it is fascinating reading about how everybody found it and how transformational it was. So I often forget to talk about that, but they were the original guys who road tested it, and totally nothing to do with me. They weren't paid by me. I had no input at all. It was organised by my publisher. Anyway, so I've got that, the Good Gut Guide, Good Menopause Guide, and my beautiful yearbook 2, which I'm so in love with. So we are doing signed copies. I will sign them here and pack them up. Any 2 for £40. Okay, so that's a £10 saving. You can choose. You could have 2 of the same. You could have, Good Menopause Guide and Good Gut Guide if you want to get your health kick-started. If you haven't got yearbook 2, this would be a really good saving to get it with whichever one you fancy. I will sign them, so of course, you can have them for you or you can gift them or whatever. Just before I go, last little reminder, you may see me sat here with my lovely Ivy. Love Ivy so much. And in fact, these, I don't know whether you can see, but these are actually faux Ivy. I think faux always sounds much nicer than fake, doesn't it? I don't know, can you see that on Instagram? I'll just bring that in. I know Facebook, you've got a really good view of it, but Instagram maybe haven't. I love just keeping a few sprigs of artificial flowers and foliage, because they just transform a vase, and it means you've always got them. Obviously, when we're working in the studios, I might have them in a vase as a backdrop, for example. Just looks so nice in the background. And anyway, so these are from Oka, which I really like. I don't know if you know Oka, the British brand. It's like a home furnishings brand. It's called Oka, O-K-A. And I've known about Oka for a long time. I've got lots of bits of Oka furnishings and rugs and things in the house. We've actually managed to get 10% off anything at Oka if you use Liz Loves, which is great. So yeah, all capitals, Liz Loves, go to Oka, I think it's oka.com, including things like this, like all the lovely faux flowers that they do. So really, really nice. I'm going to be stocking up on a few of these pieces. But the Ivy is here, of course, because it links to the last few days of my Ivy jewellery collection. So as you probably noticed, maybe if you've got eagle eyes, I've been wearing my rose gold Ivy earrings, which I love, and my Ivy necklace. They are so limited now. I mean, they've been on sale. These are 40% off the earrings. You just need to use the code IVY40, IVY40, all in capitals. We've got a few of the rose gold left and a few of the yellow gold. And also, as a special for this week, there's 25% off my little Ivy necklace, which I think I was putting it on this morning and I had it turned round this way, and I think it looks like a map of Africa from the back. Anyway, that just made me smile because I love Africa. And this, just to show you, it comes in its own little presentation box. And for those of you who don't know, I'm an ambassador for Fair Trade, and this is made from Fair Trade gold vermeil, 24 carat, and over sterling silver, which is also Fair Trade, which is very rare. And it comes with a little authenticity card. Look at that, tells you all about it and all about the Fair Trade. And the necklace, this is the yellow gold one. It's in 4 different lengths, so it's got these little, I don't know what you call them, what the technical word is, but these little roundels, and it has a little ivy leaf at the end, a little dongle, and it has my hallmark and everything. Anyway, I just wanted to mention that because they are super limited, and I think the offer was valid, as long as we've got stock, until the end of August, which of course is Monday, isn't it? Because next week we're into September. How did that happen? How did that happen? Then, of course, you know what's going to happen, don't you? The C word. One of my favourite words, actually. Are you a Christmas fan? Can't wait to start talking about Christmas. That's how my whole magazine started. My whole magazine and this whole publishing journey for me with my magazine started because I wanted to do a Christmas download from my website. And here we are, 4 years on. Anyway. That is it for today. Don't forget, if you missed the very beginning, al fresco is where it's at. I've got my family barbecue happening tomorrow. I'm going to be covering myself in this. I love the smell. I love the way it keeps those biting critters away. And I love the brand story behind it. I just thought, you know, female, founder-led brand, midlife woman on her own, you know, having been a volunteer at Chelsea Physic Garden and that whole history, the whole apothecary side of it. It's just so special, and that's what I love. I love being able to sit here and share all these amazing things and stories and journeys. So I hope that wherever you are having a good journey. I hope that you're going to have a great bank holiday weekend. Let me know in the comments. Do let me know. I'd love to hear what you're up to, what your plans are. I'm going to be posting some of my pictures, my family bits and pieces over on Instagram this weekend, so you can join me in my stories, and I'd love to see yours. Don't forget to tag me any pictures. I'm Liz Earle Me on Instagram and Liz Earle Wellbeing Magazine on Facebook. So sending you lots of love. Thank you for all the hearts. Thank you. Really, really appreciate it. Have a lovely weekend. And I'll be back with you on Monday. Yes, I'm going to be here, Bank Holiday Monday. So, yeah, I just thought, let's go for it. You know, let's just do a nice Bank Holiday special. So I shall be back here with you then. Have a lovely weekend meantime. Bye-bye.